What's up, everybody? Welcome to a new episode of PlusCast, the Geekiverse podcast where we talk about everything Disney Plus. I'm Josiah Leroy. With me today, Amanda R. Woomer. Yeah? Is that what we're going with?
Oh, yeah, sure.
We'll get back to that in a moment because there's significance behind why I maybe called you that. Also, aside from it being your name. Also, John Fick.
Howdy.
So, our first
Woody
episode...
says.
Howdy, that is true. Ah, it's Disney as well. It's good.
Okay,
So our first episode outside of Dave and Adams, our regular new monthly show here, you can listen to it on iTunes and SoundCloud. You can watch it on youtube.com/thegeekiverse. We'll get to, so this is our first episode after we've gotten our hands on PlusCast as well. This is no longer a preview phase. We are here. We've gotten into PlusCast.
Disney Plus.
Disney Plus.
We've gotten
It's
into
out.
the plus.
Oh, it's so horrible. There's so many pluses nowadays. We've watched a fair bit of content, I would imagine. And we'll kind of start here. What is everyone's first thought, their early impressions on it? Let's start with some of the pros. What works with the system so far?
It's got everything. It has everything we want.
It does.
It is it is very much what I had hoped it would be. I would just kind of like replace my Netflix subscription with this. I haven't done it yet, but it's getting to the point where I can just be like, all right, I just need Disney Plus. That's all I need. I've got everything I want. I've got back episodes of stuff that's going to keep me entertained. I've got awesome Disney movies. It's just kind of like that comfort food that I was hoping it would be, and that's what it is, baby.
Amanda, what do you like about it so far?
Kind of the same as John said. Basically everything. I have not opened my Netflix account or my Hulu account since Disney Plus came out.
I think I'm done with Hulu for now. The only thing I had been watching on Hulu was, so for the duration of last few years, I was watching Gotham, and then most recently Letterkenny, which I'm a huge fan of. But guess what? I binged all of it, so I'm kind of done with it for now. I don't know, unless we get another deal, because I think Jamie last year got it for like $1 a month.
Yeah, I was gonna say if I paid for my Hulu subscription, I would cancel it, but I don't. So it'll stay around.
I don't pay for Netflix.
No, and we bundled ours, so
Yeah, so it's part of
I'm
your
like,
Disney
well,
Plus.
we've got it. I guess I'll use it eventually.
Yeah.
That's a little bit different. But
But in terms of pros, I think it came out of the gate like with most features that I could have wanted from a streaming platform. Supported multiple profiles. That was awesome. The base price, you can have 4 streams at once. That was awesome. I definitely put that to the test over the first launch weekend. That password was shared. There are already 7 profiles. The watch list was a nice to have. Plus wise, Disney Plus has been pretty solid.
I like everything from the content that's available to the layout on the various devices. I think it looks pretty good. It's pretty functional for the most part. Same with our household. We ran up the profile list pretty quickly. So it came out the morning of November 12th, I think.
Yes.
So that morning, first thing, got up, downloaded it, so Lauren and Daisy could watch what they were watching while I went to work. And right away, good to go. We didn't really run into some of the errors and bugs that we'll talk about shortly here. And by the time I got home from work, there were all the profiles created.
Oh yeah.
What icon did you go with for your profile? Let's talk that.
I did Sadness from Inside Out because she is I love her. I love Sadness. I went with Sadness. My husband is Carl Fredricksen from Up, the grumpy old man.
Oh no.
And my father/mother, my father had complete control over it. He chose Maui from Moana because he is obsessed. I'm shocked he didn't go with Gaston, but he went with Maui.
Oh man, there's some good options there. It's funny, if we just cut out I love Sadness.
I love Sadness.
That's gonna be a clip. That'll be a social clip.
Yeah, that'll be a thing. Jen, what'd you go with?
Personally, I'm BB-8, my favorite droid.
Same.
Some BB-8. And then I stole this from a user on Reddit. It's not my idea, but the guest profile is Groot, and it says, I am guest.
That's such a good
So if you need an idea for a guest profile.
I started with BB-8 and quickly switched to Groot.
Yeah.
Baby Groot, of course.
He's so cute.
And Jamie took over BB-8. I think you could both be BB-8.
You could,
but
you can't.
So Lauren, of course, is Yzma from Emperor's New Groove, which is just so fitting on so many levels. And then my mom and dad chose Classic Mickey, which I like. Just kind of fun little things here. I would have chosen K2 if he were available, though.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll talk about that later tonight.
Oh, we will, buddy. Don't you worry. Cons. and bugs at launch. So
Yeah.
they're a little bit of a rocky launch depending on who you were. I'm going to stay straight up. I ran into nothing, and Lauren ran into nothing because she was watching during the duration early on. But that night, I had no issues streaming. I don't know if you guys ran into anything.
So that I did the same thing as you. I woke up that day, like 5:30, something like that. Downloaded it, got it installed on all my devices, got the profiles made. Got to work an hour later and tried to just add stuff to my watch list, and the app was just broken on my iPhone. I couldn't search for things. If I would just click on something, I would get the Wreck-It Ralph little Wi-Fi logo, like, sorry, something is wrong. I couldn't even load specific pieces of content, and when I would get them to load, I would press the add to my watch list, and I would just get the same error again. So I was down basically I wasn't watching. I was just trying to add stuff to the watch list, but I couldn't really even navigate the app for the first probably 2 hours of launch.
You know what? I take it back. I did run into that error a few times, but if I refreshed or got out of what I was trying to do, like search, for example, and got back in, I was able to go pretty much on the second or third try.
I was in a group chat, and people seem to be watching fine on like their smart TV apps. So like Apple TV, like PlayStation 4, stuff that's built into their TV. Everybody said they can hop in and like select content and watch stuff, but everybody seemed to have issues on the smartphone app trying to add stuff to watch list and just search for content. But that was limited to the first few hours.
We were on, she would have been on Fire Stick, so that could be why that was a thing. And let's also talk about this. When we had recorded our first episode, Amazon was not yet signed on for this.
True.
Or at least it was not announced. From what I understand, it was kind of a last-second thing because there was a debate over ad revenue. I don't know who caved or what the details are on that between Disney and Amazon, but that's why it was not announced early on that was going to happen. So someone either caved or they came to a compromise. But that's why when we talked about what devices and platforms you could watch it on last time, Amazon was not really
it was still up in the air. It was a last minute thing.
Yeah. So did you run into any issues?
I was actually out of town the day that it was released, and it killed me. But when we got home that night, we found that our TV is an old TV.
Oh, yeah, we talked about that. That was the Vizio, right?
Yes,
yeah.
The Vizio 2014, which I'm not a huge tech person, so in my mind, I'm like, yeah, it's a smart TV.
Yeah, it doesn't feel old. 2014.
It's flat. I don't know.
It's flat. I like that.
We since realized that 2014 Vizio did not have anything Disney Plus. And then the more research we did, we saw that in 2020, some models of Vizio TVs were going to get an app installed, but not the 2014.
And not now. That's 2020.
Yeah. So luckily I inherited my brother's PS4. So,
Gotcha.
And that is how we made up for lost time, for sure.
Yeah.
So that was the only bug that we ever came into contact with. And it wasn't really a bug. It was just an old
Wasn't
TV.
available. Yeah. So messes with your experience a little bit.
Yes. It was not magical in the beginning.
This, not really bugs, but like missing features at launch. We talked about this like quickly before we went live. It launched without the option to start a piece of content fresh. So if you would like watch something and say you watched like the first 20 minutes of a movie and backed out and went back in, no matter what, it would just resume at that 20-minute mark. There wasn't an option to like start from beginning. It would always just start right from the
And then you'd
where
have
you
to
left
rewind
off.
it back.
Exactly. Even if you watched it like till its end and you were at the credits and you had like 30 seconds left, it would start that at the credits and it would be kind of frustrating. They added that earlier this week, which was nice. So there's an option that was restart or play, or restart and resume, I believe are the two options. And the other one I was really hoping for, which they just added today, from what I understand within the hour, on the homepage, there is a continue watching section now. So one of the horizontal scroll bars, the first one under like the promoted content, is continue watching. So basically kind of just like your recents. So like I opened it up, I had Mandalorian episode 3, I had Solo and Rogue One. The last things that I was watching were there for me, and I like that feature a lot from Netflix, and I was hoping it would be there. I was going to complain about it today, but it's here.
Just in the nick of time.
It was crazy.
Just like magic.
It was absolutely nuts. So that not a bug, but a con, I would say, but they fixed it. I mean, we're in launch month still, and they already fixed the two things I had complaints about.
So we're recording this. This is our December episode. We are recording a little early to get out in front here. It is November 25th for what it's worth. So things could change even from now till then. Seeing as how quickly we saw with John here in the last hour, and it feels like this has been out forever. Right?
Agreed.
It's only been
a
few weeks, which
is
it's
part of my
crazy.
routine already.
Yeah, it really is. Like it is always easily accessible because we watch on Xbox a lot, so it's one of those most recently viewed apps. You jump in that way. Yeah, using it quite a bit, no doubt about it. So any other improvements we can think of off the top of their head that would improve the experience? I've got nothing right away.
Even small stuff for me, I didn't even expect to have. Like, I'm a big iPad user. I watch a lot of stuff on my iPad in bed and at work, like on lunch and stuff like that. It supports split screen. It supports the picture-in-picture where it pops out. All of the stuff that you want to have for a streaming service, it had at launch or added within the first month. So it's been solid.
Yeah, and the only thing for me is I feel like maybe I'm just super spoiled, but with like content wise, like I've already kind of like gone through everything that I wanted to watch, and now I'm into that painful like, well, they didn't release all of The Mandalorian right away.
Sure.
And I have to wait another year or two for the Kenobi movie or any of the Marvel stuff. So it's kind of like they're really banking on the nostalgia factor.
Sure. The library bank rather
Yes,
than the
which
new
is
content.
impressive.
Sure.
It's impressive, but at the same time, I feel like The Mandalorian is so good, which I know we'll talk about a little bit later.
Yeah.
That I wish there was more new stuff to start off with.
I gotcha.
Not to sound greedy.
There's really not a ton of original content yet.
Not yet. There's really the Jeff Goldblum show and the Kristen
Imagineer?
Bell. Oh yeah, and the documentary.
And then there was like a Noel Christmas.
That's a Christmas
Yeah,
movie.
I can't
just
do that
saw.
yet.
I'm gonna watch it soon. It's the season. But one more bug. It only happened on my iPad, but it happened multiple times. I couldn't pause a piece of content.
Oh no.
So you know how like when you're watching on a mobile
I did see
device,
that.
you tap the screen and then you get your controls, right? The pause button was just a spinning circle as if it was buffering. The episode was just completely playing fine, but the pause button turned into a buffer button, and I had to literally close the app to pause the episode.
Oh, no.
That happened like 3 or 4 times, but only on my iPad, and no one else has really complained about that, so it's probably just like a one-off thing, but it happened.
Yeah, I have not. I haven't run into it, but maybe I haven't used it a ton in
Different apps and stuff like that.
Yeah, I don't know. I've tried it on just about every device, but not really like sunk into it as much as I've wanted to.
Yeah, I'll often like have a Sabres game on the big screen and just throw like, I don't know, some cartoons or something on the iPad, like Star Wars Rebels or whatever I've been watching.
I've still got to jump into Resistance. It's on my list.
I know we're not talking content yet, but it is very, very kid focused. It more so than any of the other animated stuff. I got
Rebels?
2 episodes in, way more. It's way more kid focused than that. It's very dumbed down. It is for children.
I think it gets better.
it does get better.
Well, Resistance?
Oh,
No, I'm talking
Rebels?
Resistance.
I'm sorry.
I thought you were asking me to compare
I
it to
understand.
Rebels. No, Resistance.
I understand.
Yeah, I think that's a Disney XD one or something like that.
Yeah.
It is very kiddie.
Okay.
Very, very simplistic, very compared to Rebels and to
I
Clone
was gonna
Wars.
say, I'm like, I don't feel like Rebels
No.
is very
No, neither.
I didn't think so
childish.
either, and I was like,
No.
maybe
Maybe I watched the wrong show.
No, but
Yeah.
Resistance definitely is.
Good to know. Well,
Noticeably.
I'll know shortly here. Why don't we talk about this here? We'll combine kind of the next 2 bullet points on our list. What have we watched so far, and maybe what's on our watch list? Mandalorian's an obvious one, which we'll get into a little bit later in the episode, just a few more impressions. We do have a kind of a sub-series going on at the Geekiverse called We Have Spoken. So we're doing a podcast/video series every week based on the new episode to discuss what happened. So what have you guys been watching? Digging into nostalgia? You said a little bit with cartoons. You've run your course on a few things. What have we been watching? I've been watching Even Stevens. That was something I watched so much growing up, and I forgot so much about it. And kind of just going through some of the early episodes while I've got stuff going on and having it in the background has been great. I always loved that show. That was one of the first things I put on my list and finally got to it a few days ago.
I have watched 99% Star Wars content. It has been like, because we've been doing our show, Hindsight, a Star Wars series, right?
Yep.
So I watched all those movies that we'll talk about later on those shows and stuff like that. But then I hopped into Clone Wars for the first time. Then I've been hopping into Rebels. So it's basically just been Star Wars for me. I watched a Goofy movie.
Yes.
Yep, we mentioned that.
That's one of my favorites.
One of the best.
I found it on VHS over there.
Did you?
By the way, just a few feet away from us. I was
Nice.
like, holy crap. Yeah.
And then, man, that's like that's me. That's all that comes to mind.
My watch list is definitely embarrassingly full of Star Wars stuff, but I'm not embarrassed. But it is
not
what it is.
unexpected.
No. Actually, it's not as crazy as I thought. I'll kind of go. So Even Stevens, Heavyweights.
Ooh, that's on here.
Yes.
I forgot about Heavyweights.
I want to
Go on
see
the watch
that.
list.
Did we talk about it? We didn't talk about Heavyweights on PlusCast.
No, not
I
at
talked
all.
about it with somebody.
I said something about it. I mentioned it. For
Okay.
Episode 1.
Okay.
I didn't know if it was going to be there or not, though. That was one of the ones I was hoping was going to be there.
Did you mention it as being like a prequel to Dodgeball?
I don't think so.
Someone I know said that it was. They thought of it as like a prequel to Dodgeball. I thought that was hilarious.
Because Ben Stiller's like the same character.
Yes.
Yeah.
and
Maybe we
being
talked about
heavyweight
that.
and everything. I don't know. I
That
thought we
sort of
did.
seems familiar. I don't know.
I get it. It happens.
I also watched Brink. I got
Yeah.
all the way through that. That's nostalgic, but that's a bad movie. All those Disney Channel.
Bruner loves it. It doesn't mean it's good.
There's a lot to love, but yeah, just like the Phantom Menace, like there's a lot to love. It doesn't mean it's good though. Hopped a little bit into. I forgot I can just open the app and see what I watched.
That's what I did. Yeah.
I hopped into a little bit of the original X-Men cartoon, and then I watched Empire of Dreams, Star Wars, the documentary. That was sweet.
Yep.
And then both of the Marvel ones. There was one that was called like Creating a Universe and then Expanding a Universe, I believe. Those are both really good too.
I want to say I had seen that Star Wars documentary.
It existed before for sure.
Okay.
Yeah, it's not new.
For me, a little bit of everything. So all over the place. I mentioned even Stevens Heavyweights, Boy Meets World, which is still on Hulu, but I imagine not for long. Emperor's, what was this? Not the Emperor's New Groove. Emperor's New School. I didn't know that was a thing.
Was that a show?
Yes.
Oh,
Yeah.
it looks awful.
Yeah. I remember that being a thing, but I never
There
watched
was
it.
a Kronk's New Groove movie, which I was like, okay, this can't possibly be good, but it actually was fine. Like, if you like Emperor's New Groove, you probably like that movie. It's the same voice cast. I didn't realize. So that ended up being pretty good. Obviously, Mandalorian. I haven't seen Zootopia. I always wanted to see that.
I love Zootopia.
Like, people love that movie.
I love that movie.
Is that the one with the sloth?
Yes.
I did see Zootopia. The main character's a rabbit.
Yes, and a
I
fox.
saw that one. Okay, I seen that. I liked it.
Monsters University, like, that was okay, but it was something I wanted to circle around with Daisy. Inside Out.
Haven't
With
seen it.
sadness.
I have not seen it. Yeah.
Oh, it's so good.
So there was supposed to be a segment called Disney shit that I haven't seen before, but I didn't watch any of that because I just watched Star Wars stuff. But eventually I'll get around to all that stuff that would offend you that I haven't seen.
It should just be Amanda listing off a few things and
and
us
you'd be
saying
like,
yes
yep,
or no.
yep, nope,
I think
nope.
maybe next
It'll
episode we'll
all
do
be
that.
nopes. But or you give me a watch list.
I was just going to say, you have a month to watch
Yes.
as many as you can.
You assign
That
me
would
some
be
homework.
a good idea too if we did maybe like one recommendation maybe to challenge each other to watch.
All right,
It could get dark at times.
it could.
So, just some horrible thing that's in the back right corner of it. Also, Marvel's Agent Carter was sneakily on here. That was on Netflix for a brief period of time, and ABC, of course, back in the day. And then just Star Wars Resistance. So a little bit of everything there. What about you? What have you been watching?
I have basically everything Star Wars in my watch list, but as soon as I downloaded it, after my husband went to work and I had the house to myself, I put on So Weird. And a lot of people don't remember it.
I don't
It
know.
was
I got nothing.
basically like an early 2000s kids version of the X-Files.
Okay.
A girl goes around, she's obsessed with aliens, ghosts, all that freaky deaky stuff.
Oh, that's the
and
guy from Brink.
Yes, it's the guy from Brink.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't remember this at all.
Yeah, it was only on for like 2 or 3 years. There's only 3 seasons, and it is so cheesy, but it's so good.
Was it Disney Channel or?
Oh, it had to be.
Disney Channel.
Oh, those are both the guys from Brink. That's the other guy. That was his buddy. Oh man.
See, you
this
guys
is
should
crazy.
totally watch it. It'll be great.
All right. There's the thing. Is that what we have to watch?
So weird. No, I will
is that
not.
a recommendation? No.
That's not an official recommendation.
Okay.
All right. Good.
I've also been obsessed with The World According to Jeff Goldblum.
I've heard
I've
that's
been meaning
great.
to ask if
It
anyone
was
had watched
so
it.
good.
Yeah, I've heard good things about
The
it.
first 3 episodes are out right now, and he just like learns crap about random stuff. First episode is sneakers, second episode's ice cream, third episode is tattoos, and he just learns this stuff, and he's just as dumbfounded as you, the viewer.
What an idea. Watch
it's
Jeff
so good.
Goldblum learn stuff. That's $1 million idea.
It's bravo,
Yeah.
because I love it. It's
You
so
should promote
good.
that more heavily because that's awesome.
Yeah, it was very good.
That's something I've definitely been meaning to watch.
And it's quick. They're only like 30-minute episodes, so you
Okay.
can like punch through.
I
them real
need that.
fast.
That's nice.
I definitely need that. What did we get on here? We have Home Alone?
Yeah, I watched both Home Alones already too.
I didn't realize that was on there.
Yeah,
I
there's
watched
both on there.
Sister Act too. So
Yeah.
I guess Touchstone is. I think Home Alone is Touchstone.
Is it? Okay.
I think so, and I know that's under like the umbrella of Disney.
Oh, yeah, quick story. I walked up to my bedroom and my fiance was in bed watching Home Alone, and I saw an ad pop through. I'm like, "What are you watching this on?" And she's like, "Oh, Freeform." I'm like, "It's on Disney Plus. Go to Disney Plus. There's no ad." So I literally stopped it while she was watching it on a different streaming app and put it through on Disney Plus.
That's fair.
It was also I don't know. It wasn't.
What are you
going
gonna
to
say?
Yeah. What do you mean? No
I
ads.
want these commercials in
Yeah.
here. Come on, get out of here, Avatar. It's funny. It always stares me in the face. Lindy, get out of here.
Ruff.
That's Lindy Ruff the dog.
Hey,
Everybody.
he's been watching too. He's got some input.
He's there's plenty of like animal based stuff on there, so maybe he's been
I'm
watching
sure
that.
Airbud's on here somewhere.
Airbud,
Do they own Airbud? They have to own Airbud.
they have to.
I would imagine. Like, if you question if Disney owns something, odds are they
The
own
answer is yes.
Nope. I search Airbud and all I get is Bad Hair Day.
They could own it. It just might. Have
True,
you guys
that's a good point.
noticed, like, they only have put, like, partial. They haven't put the entire catalog of certain series on. Like, so, for example, I want to say, like, Lizzie McGuire and Even Stevens. They only put, like, the first 2 seasons of.
Okay, I didn't know that.
Probably so they can parcel it out later on to add more content later.
Sure,
And be like, guess
to
what?
promote a new drop.
The 3rd and 4th seasons are coming to Disney Plus now.
I know they're definitely missing like certain movie series. Like I know there's a lot of the Marvel stuff that's still tied up in like, different contracts. Like there's still Marvel movies that are on Netflix, so they're still not here yet. But
And more had come.
like
And last second was Endgame.
last second,
right?
Last second was Endgame, and then there's a few other ones that weren't supposed to be there either that are I think still on other competing streaming apps that they somehow got over.
There was only going to be 6 or 7
6
we
or 7
talked
at
about,
launch.
and that ended up being 10 or 11.
Now they're only missing like 3, I think.
Oh, it's more than that then.
Yeah,
Interesting.
they're not missing much.
Okay. That must have been a last second.
A bunch, yeah. I think all the Captain Americas are on here and all the Iron Mans, which they weren't supposed to be.
That's a nice little.
Yeah.
I wonder if that was kind of a last second negotiation, or maybe that had to do with certain other rights. I don't know.
Yeah, I think they got a deal through like the last second. We're just like, all right, we'll give you what you want. Just give us our stuff.
Yeah, maybe
let us have our stuff.
that could have been a thing.
Another cool feature kind of related to this, if there's something that will be coming that is not here yet, there's already a product page for it.
I've noticed that.
It's pretty cool. So you can like pull up The Last Jedi. Not The Last Jedi. Yes, The Last Jedi. The Last Jedi's coming when? It's soon, right?
I don't know. I don't know if there's a date on there.
There
but
is.
I was searching for something, and I noticed that like you can still look at it. It's almost it's like a placeholder.
Exactly.
It's like a pre-order in a way. It's like it's coming soon, kind of.
Yeah. So Last Jedi has a page and it's coming on December 26th.
Oh, gotcha.
Yep.
So you can add it to your list.
You can add it to your watch list. You can play a
That's kinda
trailer, and you can still get like even the extras. No, they're just trailers, but like all the details about like the actors and the plots and stuff like that. I know Solo's on here too. That's not coming until July of 2020, but there's placeholder for that as well. I think anything that has a date, there's a placeholder for, which is nice.
That is pretty cool. I know Amanda will be putting Last Jedi on her watch list.
Just so I can delete it.
Oh snap!
We'll talk about that can of worms at a later time, everybody. So we covered watch list. Just 2 bits of news I wanted to go over. First was that Disney Plus had surpassed 10 million subscribers in total on day 1, which was great because I want to say that was their anticipation for the first year, or at least their projection.
Yeah.
That's nuts. I mean, what is Netflix? I think their whole subscriber base is 60 million.
I don't know that.
I'm pretty sure it's around 60 million. So you're cutting right into a sixth of the marketplace. That's pretty.
In day 1.
Yeah, day 1.
So the analysts said they would get to between 10 and 18 million subscribers in the first year.
I think it's pretty clear that that's their goal here. They just want to get as many subscribers as possible, no matter what it takes. Come in at that low price. They made a deal with Verizon. Any Verizon wireless customer has a year of this thing for free. If you buy a new LG Smart TV, you get a year for free. They're just giving this thing away.
Yeah, just get you in the door.
They're hooking you in. So in 2 years from now, when all the Marvel shows are coming out,
they
already got you.
And probably raise the price. I know a lot of people are grandfathered into that 3-year. You did that, right? You got the D23 deal.
He did. I did.
One
I
of
sat
us
on
did.
it.
Yeah, me too. So when they hike up the price on us, you'll be locked in and already prepaid. But
it's and they're saying too. So this, according to TheVerge.com, that half of those 10 million downloaded or subscribed to Disney Plus in the first 24 hours. So you think about that. That means about 5 million had pre-orders for it, and then an additional 5 million on day 1. It's pretty impressive. That's something I want to keep track on month by month as we go on to new episodes here.
Yeah.
And just see where the numbers go.
When will they catch Netflix? Is my big question. I know they will. They have to. Like they're just killing it.
I don't know that Netflix is in as. Oh, it doesn't necessarily mean people are getting rid of Netflix.
Yeah.
There will be some drop off, but it's such a different market, I think.
It is, but I think that's their clear competitor. Even though they are different service, I don't think it's a different market, but they offer different things. I think Disney Plus wants to get rid of Netflix and replace Netflix, but there's still a reason to have both. And Disney doesn't want.
I'm
that
not
to
sure
be the
they
case.
ever will fully do that. You know,
The trick is that Netflix needs to stay ahead of the game and keep coming out with
new stuff.
Yes.
The problem is Netflix hasn't turned a profit ever. Every year they lose money. They are spending tons and tons and tons on original content, which is awesome. That's what we
it's great
want.
quality.
Great stuff, but they're losing money and they're still losing subscribers, I think, too. I think I saw that they lost like 10 million subscribers. No, this was a money thing. I think they lost like $10 billion in revenue in like a month over the summer. They've been losing. Yeah,
they invested in a lot of original content. Not all of it extremely popular, but the ones that were very popular, Stranger Things, prime example, just off the charts. If they can strike gold with more series even close to what they've got with that, which is always the primary one that comes to mind, then maybe they can keep things going. But you're losing a good chunk of content at some point with what Disney owns. I don't know. It's interesting to see how it plays out because Hulu is not a competitor because it's in that family.
It's owned by 100% owned by Disney, right? So it's just
it's
an ancillary add-on service for them.
It really is. It's going to be interesting to see how it plays out. Another news bit I wanted to get to. This I had kind of glossed over, I guess, originally, but the Washington Post with an article here that a lot of Disney Plus accounts were hacked.
Saw a little bit about that.
So basically within hours of the rollout on November 12th, hackers had gotten to a user's account, locked them out, changed the login credentials, and were selling those subscriptions to other people for as little as $3 a piece. Kind of interesting. That one was swept under the rug a bit.
It's common for any kind of like new tech service to roll out. It is very common, unfortunately, but
yeah,
Disney could be better.
For sure. And it's talking about how that also affected servers a little bit. I don't feel like that was a thing. I think there was just this crazy influx of traffic from people that, hey,
10 million people.
Right, they didn't anticipate that they were going to see that many people necessarily on day one. That was their year projection. So maybe they didn't plan appropriately for it.
Yeah, I think they had just speaking of like that influx of people, they really had that social media campaign going pretty well. I mean, there was some FOMO, some fear of missing out from people who weren't signing up from Disney Plus. Everybody was talking about it on, like, why not? 7-day free trial if you don't really want it. Just be part of the conversation for a week. So
they're doing a good job in getting people in the door, as we mentioned. And I mean, imagine having, I guess, a child in the 4, 5, 6, 7, 8-year-old range, and like, so you've got your year here from Verizon or what have you. And next year, like, trying to cancel it.
Yeah,
like,
good luck.
Disney's pitting you against your kids at this point.
That's what Disney does. That's their job.
That is what they're doing. And with Verizon, that is the gateway there. What is, shifting gears here a little bit away from the news, is there any series that comes to mind that you would want rebooted, or a series that you want to see Disney Plus kind of remake? I bring up because Lizzie McGuire is getting the
it's
reboot.
Coming back. That's like a soft reboot. It's like a sequel series, right?
It's a continuation.
Got it.
Yeah.
She's 30 now.
She's in like,
navigating.
New York City.
Yes.
So when I say reboot, I mean either
bring it back.
Yeah.
Just bring it back.
What's your old age continuation? Kind of like Fuller House. Right? Is there anything?
Yeah, the Star Wars prequels.
Okay.
I mean, it's an answer. Do it. I don't care.
It's not gonna
make it a series. I don't care. Those things are horrible. Make them better. Sorry.
It'll never happen.
Well,
It'll never in a million years happen.
Sucks for us.
I hope in a few years we come back and realize I was totally wrong. But it'll never happen.
That's what I want. You asked me a question, I gave you an answer. That's all I really have. I don't know. All that stuff is nostalgic to me. I can't see any of it coming back and being good. I like it for what it is. I like going back. It's like junk food. I like to go back and revisit that stuff for nostalgia. There's nothing I'm like, oh, I need more of this. Yeah. I'm kind of in the same boat, but I did say to Lauren the other day, I thought Even Stevens would be funny, even if just a small series, because she's like, do you think any of them are in touch with Shia LaBeouf?
No. It's a hard no.
I would like to see Shia LaBeouf again do that.
I love Shia LaBeouf, and I love
he's a character.
Yeah, I love the turn he's taken in his career. He's a cool dude, but yeah, I can't see him being down for that.
No, I don't think so either. But hey, you never know. You never know with him. He's.
Drop a sack of money on his door. We'll see what happens.
Exactly.
Disney has the power.
Yeah, absolutely.
Exactly. Amanda, how about you? Is there anything at all that comes to mind for you?
So I had a tiny list of things that I want because I'm greedy. That's just how I am.
Well, make up for what John and I didn't have.
Yeah, fair enough.
So the first thing I thought was so weird. I thought it was a really interesting show. When I was little, it really interested me. And now that I'm older, the special effects were ghastly. But the storyline is there. And with the reboot of X-Files that came out a couple years ago, and with Supernatural, which is very similar, coming to an end next year, it would fill a niche for the weirdos that like those kinds of shows.
Is it like an anthology where every episode's different?
Yes.
Yeah, so I mean, I feel like Black Mirror is kind of in that market right now.
Yeah. So I think it would be something that could be interesting. I doubt it will ever happen, but I can hope. I also thought Doug. I love Doug. It was originally on Nickelodeon, and then it went over to Disney.
And that was like a reboot.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. It was a whole different show. Like it wasn't.
I do not remember that at all.
There's a different canon. There's two Doug
The
canons.
year we went to Disney together, there was like Doug Live at Disney MGM Studios.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, it's a Disney.
So there's
thing.
pictures of this somewhere.
Yes, there is.
Oh my gosh, I didn't know that.
Yes,
Yeah.
so Disney owns Doug, and then Gargoyles. I
Yeah,
love Gargoyles.
yeah, I can see that.
I would take a TV show, a movie.
Whatever you can get.
I'd take what I can get. Yeah, I would love Gargoyles.
But yeah, isn't like the two Dougs, like Nickelodeon and the Disney one, they have different canons, different back. Like they weren't a continuation.
It's all the same characters.
This is mind blowing.
Slightly different.
Yes,
Like there's different
but it's
stuff.
a little different, and like the animation is a little bit different. I remember like Doug's outfit was different, and that really bothered me as a child.
There were storylines that like conflicted, and they rebooted a bunch of stuff. They just redid Doug when they got it from there.
And like Doug the movie, I'm pretty sure is a Disney movie.
Oh really?
Technically.
I don't know when that fell.
Yeah, so I could be wrong, but Doug is technically Disney. So I would love
Holy
to,
crap.
It's all over
All
Disney
right,
Plus.
this is amazing. Let's search Doug on Disney
I
Plus
don't
real
even
quick.
know if it's on Disney Plus.
It is. Doug is. That is
Okay.
that is the reason that
Holy crap.
my
Okay.
fiance's father has a profile on our Disney Plus is for Doug.
I had no idea
Yep.
about this. So Disney's Doug.
Disney's Doug.
There you go, 1996 to 1998,
his
3
shirt
seasons.
is longer. Oh, it makes me so mad. He's got a long
Sketchy.
white shirt instead of a short
Sketchy
sleeve.
Doug.
That is
Yeah.
how you differentiate. How about that? You learn something new every day.
Yes.
Okay, so when we went to Disney, it was 98.
99, the Millennium
99?
Celebration.
Okay, so that makes
Yes.
sense why all of this Doug stuff would have been right around
Doug's
there.
first movie is a Disney movie.
There you go.
It's on Disney Plus.
Oh, gonna add
That's
that to
that's
the
kind of
watch list.
amazing. So maybe that will be on my because we legitimately a few months ago had Doug on from Hulu, but it was
The Nickelodeon
definitely the Nickelodeon version.
Interesting. So Disney offers you both options
How
in a
about
roundabout way.
It's
Them apples.
brilliant on their part.
when you said Doug? I was like, you're not talking like Nickelodeon Doug,
Oh,
and
we're
then
talking-
that's
Like the
amazing.
do-do-do.
Yeah.
Talking Doug.
So like one of my
Scooter
coworkers,
and Skeeter
I call
and
Patty Mayonnaise.
Yeah.
Patty Mayonnaise.
That was crazy. I call her Patty. Her name's not Patty Mayonnaise or anything close to it, but she has blonde hair that's kind of short. That's what I call her. So,
Great.
oh my gosh.
Oh, I also watched Johnny Tsunami. Don't know why that popped up when I searched for Doug, but
That is a great movie.
I love Johnny Tsunami. And I found out while searching for it that they made a sequel, and it looked real bad. And he's like an adult. It looks like they made the sequel like within the last 10 years.
Oh, that's terrible. It's
Very
like
bad.
Johnny Tsunami's midlife crisis.
Yeah, I'm gonna get a name for you on that. It looked really bad.
One movie I did notice on there that I'd love to revisit was Miracle.
Oh, that makes sense that it's on there.
Is that the hockey movie?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I legitimately tear up during the moment when not Herb Brooks, Al Michaels screams, "Do you believe in miracles?" That's so crazy to me. I love hockey.
Yeah. It's
so
a great moment. I mean, it's one of the all-time great sports movies. I mean,
Yeah.
it might be the all-time great sports movie, right?
It's my favorite. I
might be
mean, people
undisputed.
could make arguments for other ones for sure.
yeah, it's
But
up there.
that would be it for me if you ask me.
The sequel to Johnny Tsunami is Johnny Capahala back on board, and he's riding some kind of like Land Rover skateboard type thing.
It does look like it's
doesn't look good.
relatively modern in that
Yeah.
sense.
If you look at his thumbnail there, look at his face. He looks way too old
Oh,
to be
no.
rocking any kind of board.
You should not be. No, you shouldn't be.
no
on the
boarding,
board.
Johnny.
No board.
Oh, bro, that's
Yeah.
awkward. Yeah,
Terrible. All right. Well,
there's so much I need to just throw in random
scroll through
keywords.
everything.
And the conversations that we've had over the last 5 minutes, that's what I feel like every time I go in this app, I find something that's like, oh, this is here.
Yeah.
Oh, this is here. Like, it's crazy. Man. On top of the stuff that I should have seen that I haven't seen. Like, we could just do a segment where I just scroll through the Disney page and offend you. Like, get you really upset.
Well, yeah, those will be topics for next month's
Yeah.
episode for sure. Christmas movies we mentioned, Home Alone is on there. The
1 and
Santa
2.
Claus trilogy is on there. There's a handful of other ones I'm forgetting.
The
There's
new Noel one, that's a Disney Plus original, right?
I believe so. Looks like it is. Is it? Okay.
Yep.
Gotcha. Yeah, and that's all. I haven't really looked for many things other than that.
Yeah, same.
Cool.
no, I am not Christmas. So
I am not Christmas.
not Christmas.
You are coming up with the best one-liners this
I'm
episode.
not Christmas.
I love sadness.
That
I
is
am not
that's the title of
Christmas.
this episode. I'm not Christmas.
I was
I
thinking,
love sadness.
when we release Revenge of the Sith for the hindsight should be called Revenge of the Sith for sure.
All right.
It
Why
came to
not?
me on the way home from work. Yeah, I know. These are
take
the
it.
things I ponder. We'll wrap up things here. We want to get to one more bullet point here, not go too extensive. Mandalorian impressions. So as of now, we're 3 episodes in, and everyone knows my thoughts on this and how extensively I've talked about it on the podcast. We have spoken. But I want to go to you guys first. What do you think so far? Do you like the release format? Let's talk about it a little bit. Amanda.
I hate waiting for the episodes.
See, I love it.
No, it's terrible. Like, I watched the very first episode, and it was like, 40 minutes long, 45 minutes. And I was like, oh, this wasn't too bad. And then the second one was like a half hour.
Yeah. That was short. I think it was 39:30, and then it went back to about 39.
Did not expect that at all. And I was upset.
Yeah, runtimes are 39 minutes for chapter 1, 32 minutes for chapter 2, 37 for chapter 3, but there's like 5 minutes of credits. Like all of those slideshows at the end, which are incredible.
Beautiful.
Yeah, those are awesome, but they count towards runtime, and I think it's like 3 to 5 minutes of that too.
I love that artwork at the end.
It's so good. It's all concept art.
Yep.
It's all
and it's gorgeous.
So good.
The show is phenomenal. Baby Yoda.
Baby Yoda.
Baby Yoda. Baby Yoda.
I know.
So I've said this before. It makes me angry how cute he is. I get physically mad
BS.
because I know that there's nothing like that can exist, and I get so mad. And I'm like,
Are you mad or upset? Are you
angry,
sad that you'll
literally
never see
angry.
a Baby Yoda?
like I clench my fist. Like, why are you so cute?
I'm a man. This can't be cute.
It's not even that. It's just that I want it to be here,
How
and it's
about
not here.
Their relationship between him and Mando, it's great, isn't it?
I live for it.
It is the way that they're able
so good.
to just make him, to humanize him while he has a helmet through this baby is just incredible.
I never expected it.
That's
in
what
a million years.
And
so
like,
good.
because like when it was the twist at the end of the first episode, I was like, oh,
What?
that was unexpected. We've got another one. Okay, cool, that's fine. And then like the more I'm thinking about it, I'm like, it's brilliant on Disney's part because you're taking a bounty hunter who is basically a killer and an
Oh,
assassin,
yeah, absolutely.
and you have made him PG
Yeah.
by being a babysitter.
He's emotionless.
The little metal ball at the. Oh my
Just
god!
about to bring that up
He
at
just
the end of
picks it
episode
up and
3.
gives it
He
back
just
to him.
hands it to him.
What such great direction! Oh,
Brilliant.
Not Favreau,
and
man.
He's so good, and we have to say this anytime you say these words. We know it's not Baby Yoda.
Yes.
We all are aware.
Yes.
What do we call it? I don't know.
So Tom
It's
was
Baby Yoda.
saying it's
It's
a
Baby
yodeling,
Yoda.
which was funny.
Yeah, but that's not, okay,
No,
fine.
no, that was like his coin thing that he's trying to get
Yeah.
to catch on.
What does
feel
he
like
want
A
it?
yodeling.
I've
like
seen
yodel.
I've seen that before. I've seen other people say that.
Okay, see,
Yeah,
so
yodeling.
there you go, Tom. It's catching on.
It's a baby
What was
Yoda.
the female?
Yodel.
Yodel. Yeah.
That's why
She was
so
episode 1.
The female version of Yoda that's in episode 1 is
Yaddle.
Yeah. Well, so if you're playing the game Jedi Fallen Order, which you beat,
Yeah.
I'm getting close. This is not a spoiler, by the way, but you're on your ship in the middle of the game somewhere, and your pilot is talking about this green adorable creature that is or was a famous Jedi Master. You assume he's talking about Yoda, right? And so your character, Cameron Monaghan, kind of goes, oh, yeah, we all know you're talking about Yoda. And the pilot goes, no, I'm talking about Yaddle. And it was
Wow.
just a nice little...
I didn't get that.
Yeah, it's
Or,
in
I mean-
some of the random dialogue that you can talk
Huh.
to your shipmates on. Kind of a funny little nod.
Yeah, I never got that. That's awesome.
Not knowing that this was also going to be coming to Mandalorian and Yoda would be a hot topic again.
So cool.
I love those little things where they intertwine them.
Oh, yeah.
Visually, it looks wonderful. We knew it was going to look good. Episodes are a little short. I think we all agree there, but I
Yeah.
got to tell you, I like the release format because it gives me kind of something to think about. I can't keep up when full seasons are released, even if it's Star Wars. Well, I probably could
Yeah,
find a
you
way.
could. You could.
That's BS.
Yeah.
But for the most part, I struggle with binging stuff. I do. So watching this kind of gives me something to look forward to every week. It's a commitment I can make, and I'm up for it.
I wouldn't say that I'm torn on it, but I feel both sides. Like I'll finish an episode and I'm like, all right, next. No, please, next. Like I want next now. But then I'm like, I come to terms with, okay, I can't watch next right now. Then I go about my day and then I get excited for the next one and I can't wait to to talk to. Like I like the tent pole, but in the moment I want more. I'm indifferent on it. I see both sides. I experience both emotions, but
So you guys
overall
were
I'm fine with it.
you guys are both big Game of Thrones people,
Yeah.
Yes.
right? So you got those weekly releases for the most part. Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
How do you think this compares and contrasts? Obviously, two drastically different shows, but I'm just saying in kind of that waiting week to week because I didn't do that. I wasn't a Game of Thrones
Sure.
guy. I didn't do the watch parties and all that. I've kind of done that with Mandalorian a little bit. Like me, Jamie, and Tom get together. We get drinks, snacks, watch this, and then we come talk about it and we film. That's been fun for me.
Sure.
So I realize I realized over the years the excitement that it was on a week to week getting together for Game of Thrones. Just one example.
That is the example. I mean that was
That was it.
That's the appointment viewing of our generation.
I would agree with that. Like with this, that's kind of like what you have to do in a way because it's
is.
separate.
It's a little different because it comes out at least on the East Coast at midnight, and I have to go to work the next day knowing that it's out there and that millions of people have seen it, and I have to say off Twitter. Whereas Game of Thrones would drop at 9 o'clock on a Sunday.
Sure.
And you know the whole world who cares is watching. Whereas this is a little
And
different.
there was rules about spoilers.
Exactly.
When it came to Game of Thrones. I had so many friends that had the Baby Yoda spoiled for them.
Me. Happened to me.
Oh,
So
okay.
Because you jumped on Twitter and it was a news story.
It was the I wasn't looking for anything. I went on the desktop version of Twitter and I was going to draft a tweet, and the promoted hashtag was hashtag The Mandalorian : Baby Yoda, and I'm like,
That's garbage.
Twitter, why? It's been out for 6 hours.
Yeah.
I just woke up.
Yeah, that's not cool.
And like that's
and, like,
not
that's
what
the thing. Whereas I feel like Game of Thrones really had it where it's like you give it a few days before you talk about it.
Yeah.
Even like when Star Wars movies come out, you're like, we're giving it
Yeah.
a week before we talk
for
about
sure.
it.
It seems like something like The Mandalorian's a little bit looser. with
People
that.
are just not keeping
Yeah.
their mouths
But
shut.
back to the appointment thing, I think the fact that it's not like at a set time where everybody in the country or maybe even the world can like watch it at the same time.
Well,
like,
how about overseas?
Yeah, exactly. It's very different.
Yeah.
Like it's 9 o'clock Eastern time, whatever time that is for you on a Sunday, Game of Thrones season. Everyone's phones are off and everybody is watching. It was kind of like that. Like you felt like you were at like a movie theater premiere every Sunday.
That is controlled a bit. Yeah, for sure.
And we don't get that with this. I would love it if they just dropped at like 8 on Fridays. But, you know, a lot of people who don't work Fridays will be mad at me for saying that because they get to watch it right when they wake up. All
Yeah.
sorts of stuff. And then people stay up till midnight. And I'm sure I'll do that eventually. But
That would be one solution for sure.
it's different. It doesn't feel like Game of Thrones. How do you feel? Like,
Oh, I 100% agree.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it's kind of like you don't feel like you have to watch it on TV. Like, I
Live.
don't have HBO. I would go to my friend's house, then they had HBO. So
Yep.
I had to go there every single week to watch it if I wanted to see it. Whereas, like, I have Disney Plus. If I don't get to it today, well, I'll get to it tomorrow.
yeah, you just have that feeling that, okay, now it's available to me.
Yeah. And the same thing, like my husband works on Fridays, so like he's not gonna wake up first thing or stay up late to watch it. So we always have to wait till Saturday night to watch it. So we avoid Twitter and
Yeah, all that kind of
Yeah.
you know,
stuff.
all that fun stuff. But it's not a necessity to have to watch it as soon as it's out, which
Sure.
does kind of take away from the fun a little bit. But again, it's just different. It's not.
Yeah, it's not worse.
Neither is better or worse. Yeah.
I've stayed away from social media on, for the most part, on the Fridays that we've had so far, and it can be a little bit difficult. But at the same time, it's like that's a nice deterrent for me because I feel like I'm on social media too much.
Yeah.
So if I look at it that way,
It helps.
that's one thought. But it's kind of fascinating to see it play out. These are going to be every Friday through pretty much end of December, except for one Friday, and that is the Friday that Rise of Skywalker comes out.
Ooh.
So this one is shifted to, I don't know if it's Thursday, but it's a little earlier in the week so that there's no conflict.
That's smart. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
That makes a lot of sense.
It's the only time it's not going to come out on a Friday. But the other sad part a little bit for me is we're pretty much halfway through the season.
8 episodes?
8 episodes.
Yeah.
So we're almost there.
Yeah.
Do we know? Like, is it like confirmed that there's going to be at least a second season?
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Favreau has
Do we
already
know like
confirmed
how many seasons we might be getting?
I don't think so.
We don't, but Favreau is basically drafting the second season.
Cool. Okay.
He's done a magnificent job.
Yeah, absolutely.
This is probably one of the best things. I'm going to say it because Josiah doesn't scare me. This is probably one of the best Star Wars things I've seen in a very, very, very long
Listen,
time.
I love everything Star Wars. Why people always yell at me? Like, I love everything Star Wars. It's fine. You can't upset me. It's okay. It's good. John's tried a few times.
I yell at you because the point of our shows is to argue the rankings.
This is why I
When we
tried to
do
bring
those
Adam
shows,
Hurren, but he didn't want to. He missed an opportunity.
We're going into the golden territory now. We got nothing but good movies ahead of us, so we're good on hindsight.
And we've had nothing but good
Oh
so far.
my
So
God,
it's
this is
great.
the prequels, people.
Check out Hindsight, a Star Wars series. We talk about
3 bad movies.
no, that's false. So me along with 2 noted prequel haters and John and Seth.
Seth doesn't seem to hate them. He seems to be pretty indifferent on them. I bring all the hate.
No, you bring the sass. That's what you bring, Mr. Fick over
We're
here.
gonna go 1 and
The
1.
sass is strong with this one.
Sassafras over here. So Mandalorian will wrap up on that. We don't want to go too much into it. Go check out We Have Spoken.
Yeah.
Any
Closing thought, not Mandalorian, but Star Wars Disney Plus related. The fact that they just shadow dropped all 6 movies in 4K, that's huge. Like the film industry, the people who are all about home video and like fidelity didn't expect 4K Star Wars remasters.
meaning the prequel trilogy and the original
Yeah,
trilogy.
all 6 movies and Rogue One. So none of those were released in 4K yet. The only 4K movies we had in Star Wars were The Last Jedi and Solo.
But was Force Awakens?
No, that it is now. So 7 movies.
Okay. Okay. Gotcha.
8, because Rogue One, Force Awakens, and then the first 6.
Okay.
So they just gave that to us. We didn't expect that. They look absolutely incredible. They're all in 4K. They have Dolby Digital, Dolby Atmos support, Dolby Vision support, HDR10. I saw some research that like if you really are nerdy about this, like I am, they're not like true HDR. Like the peak brightnesses aren't peak brightnesses. They're such old movies, you can't do too much with them. But
this is the techie talk where you and
I
I.
just
looks
looked
so
at the camera
good.
and I was like, I don't know.
they look great. They did the best they could. They're awesome.
So I gotta say, for the sake of our hindsight series, I've been watching what's available on Disney Plus, which is pretty much everything, and like A New Hope, notably looks better.
Looks so good.
It's incredible.
So
I didn't think they would really make much of a difference.
This is you don't have a 4K set, right?
I don't.
So this is
But
still
there's
an
a slight
upgrade
upscale
because it's the unreleased 3D remaster. So so Lucas was redoing the entire series for at home 3D TV re-releases, and he never got around to finishing them after like the sale of Lucasfilm and everything like that. So this is that version where they added the McClunky that we talked about a little bit.
I can't wait to watch that.
You haven't seen that yet?
I only watched the first like 20 minutes of A New Hope.
So you missed that?
So far.
You didn't see that?
I haven't gotten to it
so
yet.
if you don't know what we're talking about, we talked about it on our Star Wars podcast, Hindsight. But they added they edited the Han and Greedo scene again at the cantina.
Did you hear about this?
Oh, of
Okay.
course I
Yeah,
heard
everybody.
about it.
McClunky.
Yeah.
If I think for Rise of Skywalker, they Fandango put out hashtags on Twitter with like if you use a hashtag in somebody's name, they give you the character next to it, like a little picture, so you can use like hashtag whatever. And McClunky is one of them, and you get Greedo. When it's just not even related to Rise of Skywalker, they're just buying all in with the Disney Plus hype.
It's so stupid, and I love it. Lucas got to change that movie one more time.
Yeah, from the grave.
Yeah, pretty much.
He's dead to me.
It's so funny with Last Thought on Star Wars because everyone's like, during the prequels, it was like, oh my gosh, get this guy out of here. And now you go through what we've got with Disney, and some people don't like what they've done so far, and they're like, oh my gosh, bring Lucas back. And
Nobody
it's
has
like,
ever said that. Nobody has said bring Lucas back.
100%. Yes, absolutely.
Find me one person other than this clown that says bring Lucas
I'll find you
back.
10. I'll find you 10 after I just said a ton of people. I don't want Lucas back.
Okay, good.
This cloud.
we're done.
Shut up, John. I don't want Lucas back. Put words in my mouth. I'm turning your mic
That
off.
was an assumption. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
We'll save this for our Star Wars podcast. We're gonna dive in.
it's gonna get ugly tonight.
This is so
folks.
juicy. I love it.
Amanda's
won't.
gonna sit down on the couch and just have popcorn.
She has somewhere to be after this, but she's gonna skip on it just to watch this podcast. It should be pretty good. These are better movies.
I
we're
can't
getting
wait
into.
for. She's just sitting there and goes, "Hey, what'd you think about Last Jedi?" Throws that grenade in there. So we're gonna finally wrap things up here. Anything that we didn't get to that we wanted to mention on this episode at all? No.
Looking good.
So far, so good. Few weeks in, and we're all enjoying PlusCast. Disney Plus. I'm going to do that
We're
every single
enjoying
time.
PlusCast,
I enjoy
too.
PlusCast. Yes, you can enjoy both. So, John, you've got a lot to promote for the Geekiverse that we both kind of are doing. So I'll let you take that. And where are you on social media?
Yeah, social media at Disruptoid on everything. Twitter, Instagram, you'll find me. Yes, Star Wars, the hindsight that we're doing right now has been a very fun project. It's been a lot of fun to just hash that out with you and Seth. So we're doing some more of those tonight. So stay tuned there. We're doing the whole series leading up
Let
to
your
Rise of
guard down,
Skywalker.
folks.
It's been fun. I think we're recording two tonight. We're doing Solo and Rogue One, right?
That's right. That's why I got my solo shirt on.
Yeah.
Tonight should be relatively good. I feel like.
I actually just
you
remembered that
son
it
of a
won't.
gun.
I just remembered that you spoiled where Solo ranks on your list, so no, it won't be a good night.
Yeah, no. It's
That-
down there.
That's the
It's definitely
cliffhanger.
down there.
That's the cliffhanger I'll end on.
Which is funny because you said that you didn't have enough to go on, but yet you attacked me on Twitter. How dare you? So disrupt this. All right, Amanda.
Wow.
You got hostile at the end here.
I'm gearing up. This is why it's a great idea to have kind of an energy drink before we dig into Hey Burners.
Natural blue color.
It is completely natural. So why I referred to you as Amanda Arwoomer earlier in the show, aside from it being your name, you've got a lot going on, and by the time people see this or listen to this episode of PlusCast, something very exciting has happened.
Yes. I am releasing a book. Dun, dun, dun.
Yoo-hoo!
Yeah.
Yay!
It's been great. Yeah. So I have a website called spookeats.com. That's the same thing for all of my social media as well. Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook is all Spook Eats. Visit haunted restaurants, bars, and hotels. Trying the food, telling the ghost stories, and searching for spirits of all kinds. Dun,
Awesome.
dun, dun, dun.
And not just alcoholic spirits. Look what she does. She's so crafty.
I'm so clever. So yeah, I just came out with a book called The Haunted Atlas of Western New York. So it's limited to people living in New York, Western New York. If you're interested in Western New York and you don't live here, you're more than welcome to grab it.
Come visit.
Yeah, it's basically a tour guide. There's like walking tours, driving tours, a spooky bucket list, all that fun stuff. So, yeah, by the time you hear this, it'll be available on Amazon. Technically, it's available right now because Amazon is cool like that, and it's already in the top 50 travel guides for the northeastern United States.
Awesome.
Don't know how that happened.
That's
so
very cool.
Hey,
I've heard that they don't stick to. Is it like, do you set your release date with Amazon and it goes up when it goes up, or is that a thing?
You can do it with Kindle.
Okay.
Like you can have people pre-order the ebooks, but not the paperbacks. But they tell you that paperbacks can take up to 72 hours to be approved. So if you have a release date, you want to do it at least 3 days out, which is what I did. Got approved within 20 minutes. So it's been out for a couple days now.
That's awesome. Hey, better early than late with that, right?
Exactly. Yes.
Yeah. So go check that out. Pick up the book. It's an exciting time. Amanda's been working on it for a while. Happy to be done with it, I would imagine.
I'm thrilled beyond belief.
Yeah.
So yes. So
go pick it up so she can get working on the next one.
No. Maybe.
I am at Josiah D. Leroy across social media, fending off Star Wars tweets, complaining about the sabers again, that the 10 12 games didn't really make for much longer than the 10 12 games, because here we are in this horrible rut of losing again.
We won yesterday.
It is what it is. I don't know why I ever let my expectations change. But we've got a lot going on at the Geekiverse. We have Spoken, which is our video and podcast based on The Mandalorian. We have our sub-series called Hindsight, a Star Wars series where you can watch us talk about each one of the Star Wars movies. I haven't told you this yet, but after we're done with that, we're going to dive into a Hindsight where we break down each Clone Wars episode by episode. No, we're not doing that. Sorry.
How much time do you think I have?
There's 6 seasons of Clone Wars. Amanda would have been like, I can start tonight.
There's so much filler.
I am staying.
There are so many filler episodes.
So, okay, I just threw a feeler out there, and Amanda's good to go for that series.
Maybe in chunks of
She's
time.
She's going to run that series. But we're no more than 1 or 2 episodes per Geekiverse episode. So just book out your 2020 schedule with me. And then lots of other podcasts and shows going on at youtube.com/thegeekiverse. And of course, you can listen on iTunes and SoundCloud. So we hope you have a nice holiday season. We'll be back shortly after New Year's talking about all the latest for Disney Plus. So for John, for Amanda, I'm Josiah, and we'll catch you then.